Hey everyone, it's Julie, and I am going to actually start a new line of videos called Julie Speaks. I'm going to try to publish a couple of these a month. This is just kind of a chat between you and I with actually tonight I have a cup of cappuccino. If you'd like, go grab a cup of coffee, cappuccino, hot chocolate, tea, whatever, and let's have a drink and have a chat. I'm going to tell you about some of my obstacles and struggles as a writer, and hopefully I can help you overcome some of yours, and maybe maybe you can help me overcome some of mine. So let's chat, and hopefully I'll get some comments on this video so that I can, know if this is something that you would like to continue doing, because I'm thinking this is going to help both myself and all of you out in the long run. So here we go. I'm actually just going to start by telling you, most of you already know that I have published 2 books so far, Blood Type and Isabel. Isabel is the prequel to Blood Type, actually. And I want to tell you also that each book, I wrote them, edited them, went through the publishing process, did the whole thing. Each of them were a year. What I mean by that is in 2017, I started that year. I wrote Blood Type. I said by the end of the year I was going to have it published, and I did in November of 2018. Blood Type came out. I did the same thing in 2000. No, that was 2017. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I did the same thing in 2018 with Isabel. I said, okay, I want to try to have this out by the end of the year. Not try. I was going to have it out by the end of the year, and I did again in November. So again, I had it out, published, edited, all the stuff that it takes, had it all out within a year. I'm going to stop right there and tell you, Isabel was tough because writing a prequel was tough because I had to keep going back to the first book to make sure I didn't miss significant details that I was trying to write about in the second book as well, because it would have just made me look stupid if I got a town or something wrong. So I had going back and forth doing all of that, plus a lot of fan pressure, and working with a self-publishing agency. It all made the whole process really tough. So I just wanted to tell you, this is leading up to my point of how important it is to, or how important I need to realize it is to write for myself and not for everybody else. I love everybody reading my books, and that is really why I do this. Actually, also because I like to torture myself by writing and writing and writing and editing and editing and editing and but I really like it when people read my books and enjoy them. But because I was writing a prequel, I had a lot of people putting a lot of pressure on me to get it done because they wanted they wanted to know what happened next. They wanted to know more of the story. So I was hearing questions every day: when will it be done? And it put a lot of pressure on me to get it done. So I feel like I may have missed some things in that book. I feel like I may have, not that it's bad and I didn't write what I wanted to write, but I feel like I rushed through it. And had I had more time with it, I may have gone through it another way as far as the publishing process. So that's where my change process comes in. I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about my change and why I'm scared. And anyway, if I get a little emotional, I apologize. I've always considered myself a pantser. I write by the seat of my pants. I sit down, it comes to me, I just write it, and it seems to work. Well, for my third book, my first 2 have been supernatural horror fiction books. My third book is more of a mystery thriller type book that I feel will appeal to a broader audience. So I'm seriously considering changing my writing process, and I'm having huge difficulty with that because I've been writing for the same way for so long. I've been writing the same way for so long. I'm trying, I really would like to get to the point where I can plot down my thoughts, plot down the story before I write it, and it's just difficult for me. I feel like I'm wasting too much time trying to plot it, and then I'm trying to think, well, maybe it'll work out better in the long run because it'll be more organized, and then I put it down on paper. I don't know. I feel like I need to seek some advice on that whole process. But sometimes, I'm going to be honest with you, as a writer, I feel really alone. It is a very lonely life, even though I am happily married. I have a wonderful family. I have my 3 dogs who are with me all the time. I spend a lot of time alone in that dark place writing, and maybe that's why most of my writing is dark, because I am alone and in a dark place a lot of the time. So I'm trying to become more organized and maybe get more out there, and I don't know, maybe start going to some coffee shops to do some of my writing or something, just to get myself out of these 4 walls. Maybe it'll bring more into my stories, I don't know. But the length of time for this 3rd book, I'm going to warn you right up front, it's going to be longer. I'm not putting the pressure on myself to do it in a year. For the biggest reason is because I'm trying to write it a different way. And it's partly pantser, partly I'm trying to plot it also. So we'll see how this goes. And I'm going to have an amazing story for you, I promise. I just can't promise that it's going to be out by the end of the year. And this is why. Because for one thing, it's going to be bigger, it's going to be larger. The first 2 books were just over 62,000 words long. I'm shooting for 80,000 words for my 3rd book, so it's going to be longer. It's more in depth. The horror supernatural thing was kind of easy because it went from event to event to event. This happened, this happened, this happened. I freaked a few people out along the way, and then it was over. This one, with it being a mystery, there's a lot more of a story that I have to tie up at the end. I actually know how it's going to end, but I have to get there. It's already started. I'm like 15 chapters in almost. I know how it's going to end, like I said, but to get there, it's going to take a lot of work, and it's not going to be out by the end of the year. I'm also going to, once I have my manuscript ready, I'm going to try to solicit an agent for myself to try to publish my book a different way. Now, it may work, it may not work, because a lot of people, it never can get, a lot of writers never have that kind of, I don't know, it's hard to get an agent. You have to solicit them. You have to, everybody wants one. They're going to get 5,000 stories sent their way and pick maybe 10. I don't know how all of how it works. I'm reading about it, but I'm going to my vision is becoming more clear, and I've always been a big fan of the publishing houses in New York. I've never even been to New York City. I've never even been to New York. I've never seen, I don't know, the lights, the whole, But it would mean so much to me to have a big publishing house book, or publishing house on my book. And the only way to do that is to get an agent. So it's going to be a process. Even after I'm done writing, after I'm done finished writing, I'm going to have to do all of that, which is going to be tough. And it's going to be a lot of heartache and probably a lot of tears, a lot of letdowns, because you know, as writers, when you submit things, I started out submitting poetry to magazines years ago, and you get 1,000 no's before you get a yes. But then when you finally get a yes, it's like, wow, it's like amazing. I had this one poem, this one short flash fiction story actually that I submitted to a bazillion different, you know, magazines to try to get it published, and I finally submitted it to this one writing contest, and I won third place in a writing contest. And I won a 20 and third prize was a $25 gift card to Amazon. And you would have thought that I won $5,000. I was so excited about that because something of mine not only won a contest, but it got published. It was amazing. That was my first thing ever that I got published. And it actually is was the inspiration for my third book that I'm writing now. So it's going to come full circle. Things happen for a reason. Now that my vision is becoming more and more clear, I'm realizing that I need to learn to overcome my discouragements better, in a better way. I get really discouraged when I'm writing and I can't figure out what I'm trying to say. I get real discouraged when I don't have book sales from my 2 books I already have out there. They're selling just slowly, and I have to understand that as a self-published author that happens because I'm trying not to cry. Nobody puts your work out there for you. I do it. You have to do it. And it's so hard. I mean, not even the people who, worked with me to get it self-published, they don't push. I would think that they would push it on social media to try to help me, but they don't. And I don't, I wish everybody that I knew, and if everybody would help me push my stuff, but I can't rely on other people, but I feel like I'm pushing my stuff in people's faces, and sometimes I feel like it's just going nowhere, and I feel like I'm a big disappointment to my husband, but most of all to myself. But I know that I need to overcome all of that, and I'm sorry for getting upset, but I really want to start talking to you guys as if you're right here in the room with me, because I really need people to talk to. And I'm hoping that some of you will talk back by maybe dropping me some comments, or, I don't know, let me know that I've helped someone, ask me questions about something that I can answer for you. I just really need to talk to you guys, my fans. And I know that I need to really trust myself, trust my voice. Like I was saying, my vision is more clear now than it has been. I'm not getting any younger, and my dream still is not 100% fulfilled. I mean, yes and no, because my number one dream was to be on the Barnes & Noble bookshelf with Stephen King, because alphabetically my name comes right before his. And it is on the shelf at Barnes & Noble with Stephen King. However, it's only on our local Barnes & Noble shelf because, quite truthfully, you have to know somebody for that to happen, and we do. So, not to downplay my work, but I, contacted them and set up book signings, and they in turn bought my books, and they're on the shelf, and that's how it works. I'd like, hopefully my next book I'll have some help with arranging that kind of stuff, and we'll see how it goes. And I have to stop pressuring myself as far as critiquing my work next to somebody else's. Like, I wish I could write by like this person. I wish I could write like Stephen King. Who doesn't wish they could write like Stephen King? I mean, honestly, if you're a writer, especially a writer of the genre that I write, the horror, thriller, mystery, who doesn't want to write like Stephen King? Who doesn't want to? I mean, another one of my dreams is to meet him, but I know that's never going to happen. But you never know. I gotta stop putting so much pressure on myself, and you too, as writers, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Cause see what it does to you. See what it does to you. I'm breaking down to you in the raw form here on this video, and I really wasn't sure how this was going to turn out because I did this by the seat of my pants. There's no script for this video. I just wanted to do some talks with my fans, some, I don't know, talks over a cup of coffee, or in my case, cappuccino. Let's do this every once in a while, because I do need people to talk to, and I know some of you need people to talk to or just to listen to. And give me a shout, ask me some questions, let me know what you want to talk about or what your struggles are, and we can do this. I want to do this a couple of times a month. A lot more than that, if that's what you want. Just drop me some comments and let me know what you want to hear. And I just want you to know from my heart, as a writer, I am talking about publishing a different way this next book, but I want to tell you that it's not about the money. The tears I shed are not about not making money. It's about how grateful I am that I actually have people reading my work and liking my work. If I, sell 100 books and people read it, and people are reading my stuff and it's on the bookshelf, that is amazing to me. But if 100 people can read it, then so can 1,000, so can 2,000. And I want it to go to more people. I'm just, my vision is, I want my audience to be broader, because I feel like I have something to say, and it's bigger than just the city that I live in. And I know that's pretty blunt, but it's bigger than that. I'm trying to overcome these roadblocks. There are lots of roadblocks along the way, and this is one of them for me. I'm struggling with all of the things I just told you about, and I'm trying to overcome them, and I'm hoping that talking with you one-on-one, like there are however many one-on-one, I'm hoping this will help me and you in the long run as writers, because we need to talk. We need to do this. You need to get stuff off your chest. I needed to get stuff off my chest. And I thank you all for listening. I hope I not only poured my own heart and feelings out to all of you, and I hope I didn't bore you. I hope I helped some of you. And that's it for this video. But thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I will do another one of these soon. I can't say thank you enough. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we can do this from time to time, and I can talk about what you want to talk about. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day, and I will see you soon.